guys, happy Monday. It is so rainy and nasty outside. I'm so glad that we're staying in today. And this morning I got to do a little bit of research about keto because I'm doing this live webinar on Grass-Fed Mama on my Facebook page tomorrow. So if you don't know a lot about keto or you want to know more, then you can join me there. I'm going to go over some of the basics and everything in this little webinar. I don't know, that's kind of fancy. I'm just going to go live and share some different things that I've been learning about. But I wanted to share, even if you don't know about keto, or maybe you've heard about it and you're like, what in the world is that? There are some benefits of doing this lifestyle, this kind of diet change or whatever, because this is not a new diet. Like, it's actually came out in like the 1920s, and it was developed to treat epilepsy and seizures. And they found that these healthy fats, filling your body with healthy fats, was a way to treat those epilepsy and seizures that weren't being able to be treated by medicine. And they found that as a side effect, a really nice side effect, there were some other benefits that came out of that. And so this is not like a new thing, but there are so many studies that are coming out, and you can I know a lot of the people that I follow have been writing about keto, and that was one thing that got me to kind of be like, okay, I need to pay attention to this, because I was kind of resistant to it before because it is a little bit restrictive. I'm huge on low carb. We've been eating low carb for a very long time, but this is like super low carb. And so, I really wanted to know, what were the benefits? What was the scientific background? What were they saying? And I thought that was something that was really, really cool. So I'm going to share with you 9 benefits, and not one of these is weight loss. The weight loss is just a really nice side effect. If you're thinking about, I want to lose weight, I want to make a healthy change this year, I think you may need to take a look at this. And I just shared on Grass-Fed Mama business page, what I ate for lunch, and it's just like, wow, I had avocados and bacon and chicken on a nice little salad, and it was just like, wow, this is so good. I don't even feel like I'm on a diet. And so if that sounds like something that you're interested in, join me tomorrow. But I'm going to share with you some of these benefits of eating this way, and maybe one of these is something that you're really looking for. And the first one is a little bit of a vanity benefit, but it's actually, eating this way is anti-aging. Whenever we eat a lot of sugar and a lot of carbs, even healthy carbs, that's something I had to learn about. Even healthy carbs aren't good for you. It can actually make you age faster. And I'm in my 30s. I'm not quite in my mid 30s, but this is something that I want to slow down the aging process. I don't want to look older than I am. I want to look like I'm still in my 20s. I still think I'm 27, but that is something that is like, wow, eating this way is a way it helps reduce your free radicals. And the free radicals, I don't really know much about them, but they kind of go around and mess everything up, and they actually increase the aging. And so eating this way can decrease your free radicals that are kind of going around making, wreaking havoc in your body, and you'll actually, have that, anti-aging effect. So if you want to look younger, then you might want to start looking at this. The second thing is the mental clarity. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm a mom, my kids are running all over the place, and I'm tripping on my own feet because I can't think straight sometimes, and there's sticky notes everywhere. Mental clarity is something that got pushed way back in my brain once I, what mom brain is totally real. And so many of us are I can't even remember my phone number. I don't have that memory that I used to have. And if there is a way to increase your mental clarity naturally, that's something that's powerful. And so that you can actually, stay, get more done during the day, stay focused and not be running around, forgetting your kids' names. I know I'm not the only one that does that. And so eating this way has shown to increase your mental clarity. And what's interesting is your brain actually performs better whenever it is using this super fuel called ketones. And that is kind of the result of whenever you eat low carb and you don't eat carbs, your body produces these ketones, which is the super fuel that your brain just absolutely loves. And so then everything kind of works better. And so if you want to increase your focus, like I said, I really do. I have trouble remembering my kids' names half the time. And so if you're you're like me and you might need a little bit of mental focus. The third thing is something that is kind of near and dear to my heart because I have blood sugar problems, and it actually came out, whenever I was pregnant. I had gestational diabetes both times. It was a complete shock. I had no history of diabetes, nothing like that. But having gestational diabetes is like a precursor. It can be an indication that you're really, really likely to develop type 2 diabetes in the future. And so anytime there's a diet or something like that that says it's helping with your blood sugar or it can prevent, type 2 diabetes, like I'm going to pay attention to that. And so a lot of studies are showing that eating this way is a way to really help with your blood sugar, to keep it stable and to make sure that your insulin isn't going crazy and everything. And so that's something that I was like, okay, this is good. Like I want my blood sugar, there's that mental clarity that I need. The blood sugar to stay stable so that I don't develop type 2 diabetes, And so that might be something that runs in your family or something that you're having to pay attention to as well. Now, how many of y'all have cravings? Like you've gone on a diet and you made it 2 days and then you stopped because your cravings just, took over and you couldn't say no, and then you felt like a failure, and that's just a vicious cycle that happens every, January, because we all try to eat better and then we end up failing or stopping by Valentine's Day. It happens every year. That's the statistic. But one of the main things is that sometimes the way that we're eating is setting us up for failure, and I want to give you tools that help you win, help you succeed, and actually help you feel good about what you're doing. And this is a way that you can actually not have those cravings and you can stay full. And the secret is eating those healthy fats. And if you want to know more about healthy fats, I have so much stuff on my blog, grassfedmama.com. Grass-fed butter is like my favorite kind of fat just because it's loaded with lots of vitamins and nutrients and stuff that we might not be getting other places. But fat is your friend, and it actually is the key to staying full and cutting all those sugar cravings that we're like slaves to. I already talked about the reduced risk for type 2 diabetes. Can I get an amen? I want that. Reduced risk for heart disease. That eating this way lowers the cholesterol and the triglycerides. It was actually, the LDL, the bad, I think that's right. Yeah, LDL is the lousy kind of cholesterol. Eating this way was shown to reduce that, and that's something that a lot of people, we even had a friend message us and was like, what do you know about cholesterol? My doctor said I needed to lower my cholesterol, but I don't know what to do. He didn't give me any way to eat. Well, it showed in the study that keto is actually a way, it was shown to reduce that. And so that's something that's really exciting if you're trying to reduce your risk of heart disease, and that's something that can be genetic, but it can also be directly related to your diet and your lifestyle. And so if you want to take charge of your health, it starts with what you eat, okay? Can I get an amen? I'm preaching here. And then number 7, oh my gosh, this is something that's super duper exciting because this is actually kind of how I stumbled upon this, is that keto can actually help prevent cancer. And this is not just like throwing this out there like, this is something that's actually been shown. And what the studies are showing is that the cancer cells are not really smart. They're not as smart as the other cells. And so they can only use sugar for energy. And so if you eat a lot of sugar, you're honestly feeding the cancer cells. But if you can lower your sugar, if you can reduce your carbs and eat low carb, high fat, you're giving your healthy cells, the cells that are able to use glucose or fat as energy, they can switch to just using fat as energy, and it almost like starves out those cancer cells. This is scientific. This is an actual study. And so if that's something that, I saw one of my friends, she said, I think her dad has cancer, and so she's been taking him to, the doctor and like a support group, and she said all the doctors are telling him to try keto, and all the support group is telling, like, they're all doing keto because this is what the study is showing them to do. And so that's exciting. Like, that's a secret that we don't need to keep to ourselves. Like, we need to share that with people in our lives. Number 8 is about fighting brain disease like Alzheimer's and dementia, and that was something that I actually was a speech therapist, and that's what I worked with primarily, was patients with Alzheimer's and dementia. And this is something that if you can eat a certain way and it might help, that's something to pay attention to. And in my family, we have a neurological disease that is genetic, that's passed down, and and this is showing that it could help with that. And so it's just like, wow, you guys, like, we need to pay attention. We don't need to just be resistant to something like this, especially when the studies are showing so many good things. No matter, what your background is or whatever, you can see like, wow, there is something here that could help me. And then number 9 is that, people who were shown to eat this way were living longer. And it's probably just because we know that sugar is bad for us. We know that, if you eat high carb and a lot of sugar, you're gonna affect your health in a negative way. And so it's not something that we just need to wake up to. It's something that we need to realize that we can't eat this way any longer. Like, we have to make a change. Our health depends on it, Well, if you want to know more about how we're eating, how we're kind of doing this like modified keto thing. Adam and I are doing this ourselves because we see the benefits here. Like I said, I'm doing a live webinar. That's kind of a fancy name. I'm just going to go live on my business page, Grass Fed Mama, and I'm going to be talking a lot about keto specifically, but what I want you to know is that it's not as scary as it sounds. It doesn't have to be scary. And there are so many benefits. Like, besides weight loss is a great benefit for a lot of people because there are a lot of health problems that are directly tied to being overweight. But besides that, you just can't ignore that this is something that can actually help us long term and really help us with our overall health. So I hope that this helped you. I know I was a little excited because I love health. I love learning different things about health and sharing that with other people. But anyways, I hope that you got some value from this. If you're thinking about keto or whatever, or you're already doing it and you have some favorite recipes, I'd love to talk more about that. But anyways, I hope you guys are having an awesome Monday.